Major Mohammed Ali Shah, would you like to get into the conversation? And let's face the hard facts in front of us. It has been traditionally accepted that the number of children in a Muslim family are much larger, much more in number versus a Hindu or a Christian or a Sikh family in the country. So is there a possibility at this point of time, there is a need for reform, there is a need to educate the women, there is a need for awareness that needs to be built upon to ensure that this entire concept of, having more children and with the traditional biases that it has is corrected in the families, in the communities, and then thereby that is naturally going to then progressively impact the population explosion problem of the country.
Megha, the fact is India does suffer a problem of overpopulation. There is no denying that, and it should be controlled by all means. It's a very good step. Yes. But let me tell you at the same time, laws can be imposed. There's no denying that, there's no doubt about that. But education will empower and to take the right decisions and the right to and to move in the right progress. And if we are provided with education, automatically people will have the sensibility. Now I'll give you one example, Megha. I think it's a very good idea by the MLC Bharati Shetty, provided there is a stipulated deadline, there is adequate warning. You cannot come one day all of a sudden. And yes, I agree with your point that yes, there is no denying the fact. It's a fact that Muslim families are larger than any other families. There is no doubt, there is no denying on that. But again, this law should be applicable not for Muslims, of course, but for everyone. Even a non-Muslim family which has more than 2 children, it should be applicable and should be welcome, provided, because as the MLC rightly says, we should be fair. And
I agree, but then that's what I'm saying, that the futility of bringing about a law like the way it has happened in China, it is going to just bounce back on our faces. So is there a way to reform? And then if you're talking about reform, how do we go about building it? Because let's take a look, let's issue it,
I have not completed my point.
Yeah, okay, go ahead, yes.
Yes, so in a building, when there is somebody wants to clean the water tank, what do? They don't cut off the water supply straight away. They give you an adequate warning that the water will not come tomorrow for 12 hours or for 24 hours to please fill up your water, so that adequate precautions can be taken, right? So similarly, when there is a deadline, okay, 9 months from now, a year from now, this rule will come into force. So there's adequate caution, adequate warning, and people from all communities initiate action towards that. So then this law is welcomed by all, and it would only make sense, Megha.
Absolutely.
First state that this is a national issue, I mean the issue of Indians, and it should not belong to one particular community, because the figures which I will share a little later are totally against what the politicians try to project, that say the Hindus, the Muslim population is rising.
Mohammed Ali Shah, talk about reform and the gradual change that is required in the kind of thought processes, in the kind of revolutions that need to be brought about in the households, in the communities, in our societies per se.
Megha, taking Dr. Lubna Kamal's conversation a bit further, yes, I agree with her that religion does not determine a person's number of members in the family, but yes, it's the poverty, it's the income stature, all that, yes. But again, logically speaking, it is the Muslim families in India which are not very educated, unfortunately. It is the Muslim families in India which need a lot of progress.
Handholding, yeah.
Handholding, exactly.
Yes, very true.
At the end of the day, it is logically what you have, the figure you have quoted is right, that it is the Muslim. It's not the role of religion, but the logic is not because they are Muslim. The logic is because they are not well educated. The logic is because they are not very well employed. The logic is because they are not doing well, most of them. Now, when that is why I opened my conversation by saying laws can be imposed, but education will empower. They are and education is the only way forward. And according to Dr. Brown's book,
I agree with Ali Shah, 100%. The Muslim community's literacy level is very low, you know.
Mohammed Ali Shah, and yes, there have been these explosive statements that have been made by some politician or the other, some fundamentalist or the other, from both sides, not just the Muslims, but also from the Hindu side, and I'm not refuting that. But I'm trying to, at this point in time, through this telecast, trying to figure out a solution to the problem that has been embedded in the community for far too long. Mohammed Ali Shah, yes.
Like you sit for an exam and you come prepared for a certain syllabus. Suddenly, middle of the exam, you cannot be told that this is not, not up to chapter 4, up to chapter 8, we are going to be testing you for that. So an adequate warning has to be given, and the solution for that is, it's a very good step, very good idea, and population needs to be controlled, but not in this way. You cannot work overnight. You have to give a notice.
I'm agreeing to all your points. In fact, I'm going ahead and stating that, listen, don't even bring out a rule or a law.